On XRT, they're playing Aerosmith, early Aerosmith. The
Never heard of
past.
them. The
No,
band from Texas,
no.
the Aeroplane Pilots, Aerosmith, like Patty Smythe, Aerosmith.
No, Patty Smith's Patty Smythe, big difference. Huge difference. One of my favorite shows of all time is Patty Smith. Like my lighter. Keller Williams.
I didn't go to Keller last night either.
Well, how?
Oh man, holy crap, that snuck up quickly. I lost track of a folder. Hold on, there it is. I'm in the jar. The feeling Jon Zone, I'm in the jar. Feeling Jon Zone, I'm in the jar. Feeling Jon Zone, everybody.
Oh, Cody.
So that's crazy, man. Doug Hagman just told me the band that he's open to jamming with tonight is the guy who played Bobby Brady in the Brady Bunch. How about that for cool, man?
It is pretty weird.
You never know with music and the way people go, you know. Mike Lookinland, he said his name is. So if you're familiar tonight and you're in Salt Lake City tonight, go out and see Terrapin Flyer. And they're going to have Bobby Brady playing with him tonight, which is, who would have known? But if you're Bobby Brady, you probably got a pretty good check for the rest of your life. And you I don't know, you can do whatever you want. So why not pick up a guitar and learn it and spend that time, you know. He's been touring with the Dead since 1978.
What? Interesting. Yeah, I'd give him a few nickels. We had no option back in the day. We had to watch it. We didn't have to, but yeah, I watched a lot of the Brady Bunch.
I watched it. It was on TV every day. What are you going to do? That was one of those shows that was just on. You know, you got what you got out of it. And say, folks, wait. Anyway, sorry, it's Friday at 4:00.
Hey,
November
John,
18th.
happy
So
Friday,
we're
John.
continuing
Happy
the pregame
30-second
there.
show.
Week 134, if you weren't paying attention there.
134.
And so 134 weeks we've been doing this. I think we're going to break some kind of record eventually. I don't know how many weeks Howard Stern was on the show, but you know, we're going to beat him one of these days. And we're not nearly as rude or crude as Howard Stern. We're pretty nice guys, honestly.
I was thinking of the Rocky Horror Dance to the Time Warp.
Let's do the time warp again.
Well, just the mind of a time warp. That
I've sneezed.
Oh.
My dog's been having a hard time with my sneezing lately. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So right now, he's talking to the guy from the Brady Bunch, and he's telling him that I want to interview him. Heard of the Dead since 1978. That'd be a cool interview. That'd be a cool show. Bobby Brady.
100% it would be.
The picture. Let's see if I can open the picture he sent me here. Very classy stuff. I imagine, like I said, you get to know somebody on the silver screen or whatever, the TV screen, and it's not the same as when you meet them in person. They're different kinds of people, you know. So there's our good friend Bobby Brady. Had to share that real quick because he sent that to me. So, you know, happy day out there, Mike Lookinland. Good to have you not on the show necessarily, but we keep our doors open. You know, if you want to be part of the Phil and Jon Zone, you just have to kind of chime in and you can be part of it. We could. You could do an interview, you could do a song, you could tell a joke, you could make up some crap that you just thought up in your head. I do that sometimes. So I got a first question on the show tonight, which actually it's not a question because it's got an exclamation point at the end of it. It says, how was the Todd show? Last night went to Castle Theater, saw Todd Snyder. Been doing an awful lot of music lately. Honestly, on Sunday we were in Bloomington at a place called the Blue Room at Fat Jack's. You might remember Fat Jack from the movie Splash. He was the guy that took him in the boat out to the island. Anyway, I don't think that's the same Fat Jack that runs this bar, and we go there and it's Brian Flick and Sarah Flick's joint 40th birthday party. So we went to that. Yeah. And Cody was there.
Brian and Sarah.
Set of music for us to about 30 people. It's pretty cool to have like a personalized Cody set. So that was Sunday. And then me and Amy got in the car again last night and we drove to Bloomington, one of our favorite venues, the Castle Theater, and saw Todd Snyder and Tommy Prine, John Prine's youngest son, performing songs. Now, Tommy Prine didn't start recording music till after his dad passed away, and all of his songs were pretty emotional, heavy-duty stuff, man. But it was cool. It was cool to see him do a show. It was interesting to see So this summer I saw Willie Nelson's youngest son perform, and I saw John Prine's youngest son perform. Kind of an interesting fact about the summer. But then there was Todd Snyder. I don't know what to say about Todd, man. Me and his manager Brian, we talked for a long time, and I didn't meet Todd. But now here's the new story that's going to happen, because there's some people that know Todd. My friend Kristen Glasson, she knows Todd, is friends with him, has met him a bunch of times.
Okay.
So next time she gets a conversation with him, she's going to ask him if he's ever met me. So she's going to turn the tables on Todd, and they're going to start asking Todd if he's met me before. So by the time we do meet, he'll be the one that wants to meet me, and I don't even want to meet him anymore. But it was a great show. He played all the hits. One thing he does that I've seen him do a couple times, it's kind of about 3 songs in, he starts taking requests. Somebody yells a song in the audience, he just plays it right away. Well, anytime there was even a half a second of silence, anytime during that show after that point, people were screaming out song titles, and they were being rude and obnoxious. And we had some drunk wackadoo next to us that was singing and slapping tables and slapping Cody. He slapped Chicago Farmer on the arm and on the lap, and Cody finally got up and moved. But he starts doing requests right away. And when he starts doing that, well, everybody just thinks it's a request night. And he don't say no to nobody. He just plays the song they play. And so his whole set list got jumbled, and then stuff was out of whack. He didn't tell very many stories. He did tell one amazing story, which was hilarious, which I can't repeat on the air because it's live and copyright infringement, I guess, but it was very good. And I had never heard it before. And Amy and I laughed, and then the room laughed, and it was really fun. We had burritos before the show, like we like to do. And it was almost like a comedy show, really. It was like when he came out and started telling his songs, which are like stories, but they're silly. The room was so quiet that anytime he got to something funny, the room would just giggle like a comedy room. And so that was kind of cool. I've not seen a show like that before, where everybody laughed and giggled and paid attention,
So he intrigues me that he's like a spirit or a ghost. No one really gets to talk to him.
I don't think
talked to his manager. He must have heavy security to keep him away from people.
Well, his manager does his sound check for him.
Well, if you've got,
But he doesn't come out on the stage until it's time to come out on the stage.
I mean,
and I think he's anxious. I think he has social anxiety, just like a lot of us. I think that my guess is that he battles with that. And when you're Todd and you're at that level, and the kind of crowd, it wasn't like our fun crowd of our normal people. It was a lot of older folks. It was Bob and Tom radio guys. It was all over the map and country music fans. It was all over the map as far as who was there to see him last night. We had a dozen friends there.
I understand. I just think it's intriguing. It's not yeah.
I don't know if if you're famous and people come up to you all the time, it's an uneasy feeling, kind of. And it's okay. You want to say hi to everybody you can say hi to, but when you're somebody like Todd, everybody, I mean, for example, Chicago Farmer was there last night just as a guest of Todd, and hanging out and doing the show and seeing the music. And it took him a half an hour to get from the front door to like the soundboard, because everybody wants to talk and say hi to him, because he's got that kind of celebrity, especially in Bloomington, and I guess I have a little bit of it too, but I don't see it like they do. But when you're at that level where Todd is, it's probably got to be pretty hard to deal with all the time. It's good to have people tell you you're amazing and you're good and stuff, but it gets unnerving after a while. It stops having meaning after a little while. If that makes any sense. But he doesn't come out
100%.
But he didn't come out. I don't know. We didn't stay long enough. We were like one of the last ones out of the room, and we hung out with his manager for a while after the show and just said thank you and goodbye and got some merchandise and stuff. And he, as far as I know, he didn't come out last night. I don't think he came out. So it was super cold outside. It was snowing down here, so I don't think he came out. Or if he did, he just went right to the bus. He's a private guy, man. He's got all the songs. When he's on stage and he's performing his show, he's very personable. And he talks to the audience. He's playing songs for him. He all his lyrics are right where they're supposed to be. Everything is right in line. Like, he does his songs very well. He's amazing. But everybody says that when they talk to him in person, they meet him, it's not the most engaging conversation, we'll just say. Hey, that's to each individual. He's an artist who
you have one of the only albums that I've ever done that he was supposed to play it on your ceiling interview.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. Did you see what's in that picture? Maybe.
No.
I sent you. I was looking at them today. I came in here and I stared at the ceiling for a few minutes. And they say, when in doubt, look to the sky, and that's where the sky was your records. So I said I spent some time with those, but so that was Todd Snyder last night. We went to go see that and had a good time. And nope, tonight's Cody Dekoff in Indiana. Bob Hagerman's getting ready to head out there. Hey, Tom Dean. Hey, Jeffrey Blackman. Hey, Tufted Titmouse. Hi. The bird eating on my window sill. But that was my show that I did last night and the last week. I guess that's my recap of my last few days. But what do you got going on tonight?
Nothing.
Nothing. You gonna call it off?
No. Tonight, going to see one of my favorite bands around, Mr. Blotto tonight at Two Brothers Roundhouse in Aurora. Super psyched, trying to keep it calm, pacing myself for a beautiful night. Going to be vending some artwork for the first time in a few months.
That's good for you. Yeah.
And great venue, real close to home, and see some old friends and some great music is the bottom line. So,
Yeah, is it just Mr. Blotto?
what?
Just them by nobody opening up for him?
Blotto.
Mm.
Blotto, a couple sets.
I need to share this post real quick.
I just love the venue. You've never been there, Johnny?
No, we drove by it.
Yeah,
way
I know
out,
we have a
maybe,
couple
but
times.
you've shown me a bunch
It's
of
a
venues up
cool
there, but we
vibe
haven't-
about it. It's cool.
Haven't been to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Doing
So
adult
that's
thing here.
what's going on this evening on a Friday night. I haven't done much musically. There's always something going on, but that's what we are doing. Hope to see some friends at the Roundhouse.
I did use the term I used the term Todd Schneider a few times in the line just to see if I could get anybody's attention. I said Todd Schneider, and Amy giggled, and then I said, "Oh, for Phil, I've got to say Todd Schneider at least 3 times during the show tonight." You know, so Todd Schneider, Todd Schneider, Todd Schneider. It's half Todd Schneider, half of the maintenance man in your apartment building.
Johnny.
But it was a good show. It was an awesome show. It was good. And a lot of my other friends went to see Keller Williams last night, and that place looked packed.
Yeah, I got a Keller Williams lighter on me that I'm using.
I'm not too sure about packed rooms anymore. I don't know. I went to a packed room last week, and packed rooms, like when it's full, like there's so many people you can't even move.
Now,
That feels strange now. It didn't used to feel that way, and I know it's because of the COVID and all that stuff, and the world's changed. But I'll tell you what, it felt really strange to be in that kind of crazy crowded room last night, or the last wherever I was, the last weekend before last. It's all kind of run together. It's been a crazy couple weeks of music.
There's it. Thank you, JC. If I can picture or think of all the times I've been in a crowded super.
What was that?
What?
You hear that ding? That sound? I don't recognize that sound.
Probably someone.
Yeah. Anyway.
The crowded venues I've been at throughout my lifetime.
Packed rooms anymore.
Hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Recently, nothing. No, and I don't like that. I don't. The most tight I've been to is when you go to the city, you from the Congress, it's GA. But more than that, if you know how to do it, is the bars outside the venues to have something to eat or drink. Those are more packed, and it's very. I don't like that. Like space.
Yeah. It's funny because I don't know. I've been going to see a lot of music lately. It's been good the last few weeks. Amy sent me out to a couple shows a few weekends ago, and then last weekend with that Cody show that popped up, and then this last night was the show was kind of scheduled and pre-scheduled, and then they got that thing coming up in December, which is the family affair deal, the party, what you call it. I got artwork for that one too. But that's going to be a 2-night special event in Decatur, Illinois for the Band of Heathens. No, not Band of Heathens, for Sunshine Daydream and the Wally Jolly Bolly Wallies, the Rumpke Mountain Boys, they call them, So that's actually going to be a fun show too. There's some artwork I did for that one. I'm just going to share artwork. We're going to get it to the regular show eventually, folks. This is an impromptu Friday night, so I want to show off a little bit of stuff we've been doing.
Yeah,
this is poster we did for them, the Rumpke Mountain Boys, Electric, Sunshine Daydream, Pete Jive, Jay Larson Band, Dead Man's Dog. It's going to be a hotel here in our town at the hotel bar, but they're going to rent a bunch of rooms out. We're all going to go jump in the pool, I guess, and make a party out of it. And it's coming up December 16th and 17th, 2022, Decatur Hotel and Conference Center. Discounted rooms available. Use code Family Affair. Anyway, watched a great documentary last night about 1971, or I've been watching it all week. It's called 1971. It's on Apple TV. and it's just about 1971. Man, I've been studying music the last week and a half, Phil. 1971 was a year that so much happened. So much. It's a mini series. It's not just one documentary. It's like 7-hour-long episodes about that year. Sly and the Family Stone. There's a riot going on. Sly, Family Stone. Sly almost just like dropped off the map. Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street.
One of my favorite albums of all time, and so is Sly and the Family Stone. To see that stuff, the footage that they did live is quite amazing.
Yeah. Some of it's bad, unfortunately, for Sly that year because he was he was burning out real bad, and he was just
bad. Well, I got to watch where
bad man. They're not watching. No, I don't think they're in perpetuity. I don't think they'll ever watch. If we get a letter of cease and desist about talking about Sly and the Family
Stone in documentaries that I see. But anyway, yeah.
I just messed up my computer. No, I didn't. There it is. Okay. So yeah, it's Friday, folks. We and Phil are getting together. It's Friday night. My content is I did a lot. Like I said, I studied all that music. I watched all that stuff. It was an amazing week for
thank God you're not here.
Last night I watched a video about all the bands that led to punk rock, starting with Little Richard, like talking about how he played and he stood up and he yelled at the audience and he screamed. And he played fast, and they put that next to punk rock songs, and they show you how that was basically punk rock at its beginnings, and all the way through the from Louie Louie to MC5 to T-Rex, all those bands that kind of proto-punk they called it, you know.
Beethoven played the first punk song, God Save the Queen.
Beethoven was he wrote God Save the Queen.
Yeah,
they talked about the Pistols in a little bit, but I've never been that impressed with the Sex Pistols.
No,
I mean honestly, you want to come on the show and argue me about if you think the Sex Pistols are better than somebody else, you can come on the show.
No,
I don't. No, I just don't have the gumption for Sex Pistols anymore. I don't know. First, was going to be a punk rocker. That's all I cared about was the Sex Pistols.
Well,
like 2 weeks later, I realized they had no more albums except for like 2 albums that were really released. And then I found out on the albums, it's not even the band playing. Like on Nevermind the Bullocks, most of that's not the band. It's studio musicians that knew how to play better.
My band of all time is The Clash. And look at their footage and documentary. They were historical. And you probably name 50 songs. I probably can name 150 songs, just because they're more historical than There are commercials. They're from rock to reggae to punk to. Yeah.
Well, speaking of music, we might as well do records, man.
Okay, bud.
Five records. Every week, folks, we show 5 of our favorite albums that we collect. We both collect albums, record albums. Phil paints on all his. I don't know. He doesn't care about them at all. But now he paints only on old records that can't be played. But we love records, so we show 5 records off that we like, either album cover or song or title or. What I really like is this one right here, Richie Havens' Alarm Clock. Richie Havens, pretty powerful guy there, you've heard Freedom, you've heard Motherless Child. It says, I am alone, and it all got rubbed off. Can't read it. You see, I met your organization the other day. In no way were they organized. Each had a different idea of me. As such, I was alone and never knew it. Anyway, Richie Havens' Alarm Clock. Get it today. Still on sale at your local Sam Goody. Think there's a Sam Goody anywhere anymore?
No, I've been there back in my day.
A long time.
Yeah, I probably got this back in the day, so the Squeeze, simple cover, simple punk rock days, a very historical 3 gentlemen there. And anybody listens or seen Palladium, the show with Jules Holland?
I watched a lot of the live with Jules Holland stuff.
Yeah, that's Jules Holland. He's in the Squeeze. Yeah,
he's pretty much like the Paul Schaefer of Britain.
Yeah, big time. Way better. Right? All the stages, that was incredible.
Because he plays with everybody when they come on the show. He plays with them too. He usually does like a impromptu performance.
I kept thinking it's fake, and people are sitting and band. He'd go from.
Oh, and he puts like the Buzzcocks in front of the Ramones, and they're like talking. It's so good. It's like it's a good show, and they go back and forth.
Fantastic show.
It's called like Late Night with Jules Holland's one of them, and there's another one that's the one you said, Palladium. It's on the Palladium channel. Yeah.
Fantastic. Jules Holland.
You paid $7 for that album. I'll beat you. I paid $6 for this album. It says. I don't think I paid that much for it. It's Ladysmith Black Mambazo. I think I probably got it for free actually. Shaka Zulu. If you're not familiar with Ladysmith Black Mambazo, it's the band that did the Rhythm of the Saints album with Paul Simon, and they sing. They make all kinds of sounds, and then they do like vocals, and it's all a cappella kind of show. Pretty pentatonics. You had a Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Check that out, and not just the stuff they did with Paul Simon, but the actual album that was produced for this record is really, really good. It's called Shaka Zulu.
Yeah.
All vocal. It's like the pentatonics thing, but these African sounds and vocals, and they do. I just can't. It's the only one I can do.
Yeah, one of the favorite festivals and shows I've ever been to. Probably top 5, easily top 5, top 3. Saw a African band called Feme Kute. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
See you out there, Bev Cole. I'm good for checking on us. If you're here, checking in, leave a comment, say hi, ask a question, come on, tell a joke, whatever you want to do. We're impromptu ties in the show tonight, which means we're just going to do it on the fly and see what happens.
Black and white.
Welcome to the canteen. That's probably that's one of the more amazing albums in history.
Yeah, we probably had it before. Did another Dave Mason last week on there. Dave Mason was in the band. Steve Winwood, Jim Capaldi. Yeah, great album.
See you out there, Machete. Good to see you, buddy. Machete says hi.
Hey, Machete, how are you doing, bud?
Always good to see you. Checking in, Machete.
Going to the Roundhouse for Blotto tonight.
How much do you think you paid for that last record you had there? No tag on that one.
Couple, actually.
If there's no tag, you don't know. This one was 50 cents, and it's pretty good score for 50 cents. This is the Jimi Hendrix album that came out pretty much. I'm gonna say came out like after he passed away, maybe even or close to.
Yeah, just a cool cover. I love that one.
Yeah, the Band of Gypsies album, which is what it is. So he created a new band after the first band, after Mitch Mitchell. Well, it wasn't Mitch Mitchell. Mitch Mitchell stayed in the band. It was the other guy, Noel Redding, that left the band. And when Noel Redding left the band, he got this other cat. His name is going to be Buddy something or other. Anyway, really cool album. Jimi Hendrix, very important history. Was he? I mean, how he was only there for a minute. He turned his guitar up till it fed back real bad, and he played it that way, which turned into all the music that happened after him. I mean, because before Jimmy, there wasn't really somebody making the guitar scream and go crazy like that. It was there with a guitar with the feedback and the distortion and the controlling of all that, and how he could control the distortion and the wah wah. Anyway, Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsies Gold Record Award, which means it's not the first pressing. When you see that on the record, it means it's not the first pressing. It means it's they got Happy No More, Power to Love, Message of Love, We Got to Live Together, Machine Gun, bam. That's a good one. Jimi Hendrix, folks. Very short-lived time for music. It was only like this much. There's only this much Jimi Hendrix that actually happened and got recorded and taken care of and like responsibly represented, and then it was gone.
Jimi Hendrix, The Doors, Jim Morrison,
Janis Joplin.
Yep.
Yeah.
I probably did this one before. I don't even know what deck it is. I haven't played it yet. What? Pretty
interesting. Who are the guys in the band? Did they become something else, or is it like a?
I don't know, but
inside
back cover, Jen. I'm very.
That's a trio. That's a trio. I like trios. Interesting. Yeah, 3 guys. It looks like.
But
smoking or sniffing or something. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there.
I ain't sniffing. No, what do you think?
Hey, Logan Elliott. Hey, Janine Cash Pole. Good to see you guys. Good to see
Dave Ambrose, Clive Tracker, and Brian Auger. And the letters are huge. I've never seen. Look at how big the letters in it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Anyway, the band.
Thing about
what? If anybody knows anything about this band, they're called what?
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay.
This band is a little more well-known, sort of, amongst teenagers who have angst before grunge. And they are the Violent Femmes. This is this cool painted cover, Blind Leading the Naked. Violent Femmes, one of the albums, the first album that I bought that was like their studio album. I had the first Violent Femmes album somebody recorded for me, but then I went and bought this one. It's a great album. I've shown it on the show before. Gordon Gano, Brian Ritchie, and Victor De Lorenzo, the trio, the original 3. Which I really just noticed something in this picture. There's a mushroom back here behind Gordon. And there's a mushroom right here on Brian's shoulder. I need to look at the Victor De Lorenzo painting a little closer and see if there's a mushroom on him. They may not be mushrooms, but they're mushroom shapes. In my world, that's painting. I wonder who did the paintings. They're really good. They're good paintings too. Good use of color and light. And I like the little abstract weirdness in Brian's everything, because Brian's a very abstract and weird dude. Someday we're gonna interview those guys on the show, but they don't really respond to their Facebook page. They're anti-social media. You've heard of antisocial? Well,
I am too.
yeah. I'm working on it, but I have to do it. I guess it's part of the job.
You don't have to do nothing. Joni Mitchell.
No shit. Are you fucking with me? Seriously? Look, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna lift the next record up that I have in my hand. Joni Mitchell. And probably the same artist. I bet you they did the cover art for both of them.
According to Joni Mitchell.
I wouldn't doubt it. That's almost looks like the same artwork or same artist. So that's crazy. We both took our fifth records. Pretty special. We're doing both at the same time, so you guys can see some double.
Free Man in Paris. I heard that.
That's a great jam right there, man. Big Yellow Taxi and Woodstock. The Circle Games on this one. Mm-hmm. Ladies of the Canyon. Mm-hmm. Those are just the ones I know, but I bet you that's even the same artist. That's pretty cool. See, Phil, there's a reason we do this show together, and we're starting to think alike. We're like a married couple.
Well, a lot of 795 shows we're about to do. The
134 times
we've matched on one is the Beach Boys, though. It could.
Yeah, we did, Matt. That was the very first
same
one.
artist.
Wait a minute. That was like the very first album show that we did. We both picked in the summer. That first week. That's the Friday. That would have been like week 5 or 6. And at week 134, you subtract 5, 129. That's 1,290 records we've shown you guys in that time period. So enjoy your records. Go get records. Get a turntable. Get a cheap turntable. Just collect the records. Don't even collect the. Buy
a painted record.
Listen to records.
Buy the record. That's even better.
I say if you buy the record and you bought it, then you preserve yourself for the right to go on to social media.
Go buy records. I'm sure
live music streams and listen to it there.
All right, Johnny, one more.
You got one more, bud. So it wasn't your last record. Okay, well that was close.
We're gonna go with I just love his expression, Waylon, with the cigarette.
I've been told that I look like Waylon. Our noses.
Yeah, sideways. Front ways, you look like John Griffin.
Well, that's true. That's who I am, front ways. That's why I don't let everybody see me front ways. And I got different hats to put on to make it hide a little bit. Yeah. Good-hearted woman. And that's a Best Buy sticker. Is that a sticker or is that like on the label itself?
No, that was it's funny you brought that up. It's not. It's actually embedded into the cover, which is weird.
Was it printed special for they were going to put the price there, I guess, or something? They were going to have everybody write the price.
I do believe it's a cheap album. I do believe I've seen more than 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So it's nothing. I don't believe it's special. Maybe I don't, but I don't look through every single one and see what it's worth. I don't
even think that's the first album that song was on. So they re-released an album with Good-Hearted Woman. Yeah. I see some other people checking in out there. Thomas Evan and Diane Manning. Good to see you guys checking in on the show tonight. We got a nice little crowd tonight, even though we don't have a good musical guest. So you'll just have to bear with us in our talking tonight. That's what we're going to be talk show. That's 5 records. Phil and John, week 134. As I said, 1,290 possible records we've shown. Probably shown about 1,000 records because I know a bunch of them we've shown a couple times. But there's themes. You gotta have a theme every now and then, I guess. And tonight's theme is Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for, Phil?
I'm thankful for you being a friend. I'm thankful for the friends that I have. I'm thankful for the family I have. I'm thankful for being here. So.
Well, me too. You just said all the things I was going to say.
All right, good. I
got out of bed this morning. Thankful I got to go to bed tonight. And those are my 2 thankfuls right now. And I'm thankful. I'm not. I'm feeling a little sympathy for the turkeys right now. Right now, the turkeys are.
Don't even go there. What the heck?
This has been a crazy week for turkeys. I feel it like whenever Obi-Wan holds his head, he says, "I feel a strange disturbance in the force." Turkeys are doing that. All wild turkeys are doing that everywhere. They can't figure out what the heck just happened. And every year it happens to them this time of the year. There's a mass killing of turkeys, which I love turkey. And I'm going to eat turkey and gravy on Thursday. I've got potatoes and bread and all that stuff, to put down too. But a drink for the turkeys. Here, I'll pour some out on my desk. Not really. I'm not part of turkey.
Baste that son of a bitch and eat it.
Oh, I'm sure we will. I've never cooked a whole turkey myself, but I've definitely been in the room whenever I've cut turkeys, and I've definitely been in the room whenever turkeys are being eaten.
I mean, how often do you really eat turkey?
Well, I eat turkey sandwiches sometime. Sandwiches.
I enjoy it from the deli, good, be good to get, but to
There's
cook
a
a
place.
turkey, it doesn't happen
Yeah.
often.
There's a place here in
Thanksgiving,
Decatur that has turkey sandwiches where the turkey is actually carved off a real turkey breast,
ooh,
and those are really good.
delicious, man.
You
It's
can't really beat that sandwich. It's one of the best in town,
you
you
like
know.
sandwiches?
I like sandwiches. I
Yeah,
do like sandwiches. Oh,
okay.
don't say the word sandwich. Scooby, sandwich. Sandwich. He knows about some sandwiches. All summer when we were traveling and we'd be place to place and we go from and we would yeah, he would always be getting some sandwich, you know. So too cold to deer hunt, Logan Elliott says. So hello, internet. It's cold out there, folks. It's cold.
It's, I don't mind. It's windy too. I mean, here it was not minus 17 degrees wind chill in Aurora. When I
Oh,
put on, we get Chicago weather, I put it up when I first thing in the morning.
you're 10
And the
degrees
low is
colder in
always the
Chicago too.
lowest because we're in a valley.
Yeah. Well, it's probably 10 degrees colder in the city where the wind is and near the
I
water. And
mean, we're 35 miles away from the city, but we're
Mhm.
out in the burbs,
Yep.
on
Yep.
the edge of country.
So Logan's homegrown CBGs, cigar box guitars. He's made hundreds of them, man. Sponsorship
He
tonight.
was on our show, wasn't he?
He's been on our show. He was did the show with me one time right here in the room. He's checking in tonight. Said thanks for the advertisement. So yeah, that's
We've
just
been doing. I was thinking
I
we've
get
been
dressed in
doing,
the dark,
you know,
Logan. So you
my
never know.
memory's pretty bad. We've been doing the show a long time. I think we've had Elvis Presley on, didn't we?
He's done 640 cigar box guitars. He just said,
Wow.
and they're all interesting and different. Every one is different. I mean, I'm sure he's had some that were similar to each other, but I mean everything else
That's pretty cool.
so crazy different. Hey, Ron Cullum, good to see you, bud. Good to see you, Ron and Bev. Love you guys. People checking in. It's almost winter time, so we're all gonna need something to do this winter. So you got Fridays with Phil and John. Come in, be part of the show. Come on the show and talk if you want to. Come send us
I think
jokes.
maybe we might have 2 or 3 more people watch during the wintertime because it's cold outside. I think I'm gonna have to shower
Oh, our
before.
numbers are up tonight. Yeah, our numbers are up higher than they usually are tonight.
I'm gonna
So
have to shower before the show next time.
you should. That's just a good idea. I mean, anyway, like at least within a week before the show, you should shower.
Anybody's watching who lives in Aurora land, go see. I'll see you at the Roundhouse at Two Brothers to see Blotto.
Yeah, yeah. Did you go see anything last weekend?
No, it's been a minute.
Yeah, yeah. You'll do good to go see. And then was the last big thing you saw was Mr. Blotto. I
Could
knew
be.
you were Blotto. I knew you were a Blotto family. I knew
Well,
you
you
were.
know
Blotto
what?
family.
It's convenient. They're good. You know, I think they're fantastic, actually, and
All
it
right.
just
So
happened.
Doug Hagman's he's typing a message right now. I told him told him I'd like to interview Bobby Brady, and he said, yeah, he's interesting. All
All right, 3-minute timeout. Bye.
right. So 3-minute timeout, folks. Whatever that means, Phil will be back in just a couple minutes. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to sit here and talk to you for a few minutes and see what you've got going on. Any tech people out there want to download all these shows and cut the music sections out of them for me, make one video out of it? I could do that, but it's going to take me a couple days, and I haven't had the energy or gumption to spend a couple days on any kind of project lately. But there's about 85 shows worth of guests that we haven't documented outside of the original shows, and you can find them all on my Facebook page. Go through live videos or just go to videos, and you can see all 134 episodes are on Facebook still. But I've got about 96 of them on YouTube. So I need to pull another 40 off of here, put them on YouTube. Then I need to go back from number 50 on and collect all the music from them. And that just seems like a damn hard last lot to do. So I'm not sure if I feel up to that at this point. You know, we'll see. Time will come, you know. But so yeah, Tom Irwin would be good. Tom Irwin is a good play. He sang them in songs by Tom Irwin this weekend. Great play. It's a play by Tom Irwin. Tom Irwin. Not he's not an Irwin. He's Irwin. And Irwin is a little beast they used to kill to make like jackets and stuff. Hey Laura, how you doing out there? Laura from Aurora checking in. What about Thing for a guest? You know, Jeffrey, that'd been a good idea if I set it up. Now, I didn't set it up. That would be Thing will be back on the show for sure. We'll do some more art on the show. I just found some art today that was done during a show a couple of years ago or a year ago. God, time is just weird. Time is very abstract. And so this was number 77. So how many weeks ago was that? That's like a lot of weeks ago, 60 weeks ago or something. And this is one of the ones when Thing was a guest, and he did the live drawing on the show, which we'll do again pretty soon someday. That's kind of play it by ear. It looks like that night we had, I'm guessing that looks like it looks like Big Tall, but I'm not sure. Talked about Frank Zappa, he's always in there. Some horns section coming out of a weird box. Anyway, that's crazy, creepy art that happens all the time on the desk. Yeah, we'll get Thing back on the show too pretty soon. This is as we prepare for the holiday season, we're gonna have to try to have some big guests coming up and see if we can talk to some people that are kind of just hanging out and doing nothing on Friday nights because it's so cold and all the outdoor fun stuff is over with. Nobody's boating or fishing, even fishing's pretty much over. Oh, she's got double vision. Talk about double vision. Is that what it looks like to you? Can you see the pictures? Oh, I see it small. Kind of looks like to me too. That's about our good friend Laura from Aurora, folks. You ever seen
Hello.
Hey Laura, come in and say hi real quick before Phil gets back in the room. We take a 3-minute break. You only got about 30 seconds left of it. So how's Laura doing?
It's like, yeah, what's a 3-minute break? How long did the chicken take to cross the road?
I don't know. How long did the chicken take to cross the road?
I don't know.
It's our good friend Laura from Aurora, folks, checking in, and she freezes up and goes silent on us for a second because it looks like their internet connection is bouncing. Snowy day. So we're gonna see there any shows in the next few weeks you guys are excited to see in the next week or two? Yeah, man, honestly, I think the next thing we talked about was the December 17th thing, which is a few weeks off. Of course, I won't be doing anything next weekend. We got a lot of stuff going on for Thanksgiving. Laura froze him up. I'm putting him in the waiting room. Anyway, he'll be back in a second. We'll get him back together. But I don't have anything planned right away. I don't have anything planned coming up right now. It's going to be a couple weeks probably before I put anything together with for anything else. I've got some work to do to get ready for this season. I really need to sit down and finish the next coloring book. I got the folder put together and ready to design the number 8 coloring book. But I just got again. I got to find this gumption. I know it's in there to get the muse will strike me, and I'll be back at work. So Jason LaTwain, not so much right now. He's going to see Blotto tonight, and then if something comes up, we'll share it on the shows for sure. But it's just that time of year whenever things kind of slow down and we stop going outside to places and we stop. We just we don't stop completely because it's we got to keep moving and breathing and keeping above water and stuff. But the idea is that we're
How
doing.
far is the castle? How far is the castle for you? Hour?
Yeah, I know. We won't be going to Black Friday with Old Shoe and Henhouse Prowlers, Jason. It looks like a good show though. For us, it's about an hour from the house to the castle doors with parking, I would say. And last night we parked right in front of the venue. There's these spots, if you get there early enough, they're just right. I mean, you walk out
Right
the
in
door,
front,
there's your car. And we parked there last night, so that was real nice. And tonight, I don't know. Oh, Sunday, the Lemonheads are playing there. Remember the Lemonheads?
Yeah.
Shame About Ray. They're playing there on Sunday. That'll be a good show too. I don't have any plans for it or anything like that, So, but in time. So Jason or Jeffrey Blackmon saying he's got a drawing from number 36 show. So that we didn't do a drawing on every show, but we did drawings on a few shows.
Drawings for
just when I was drawing on the side camera over here, a thing came in and I drew while we were talking a couple of weeks. So I should have done that tonight. I still probably could, but I am over it.
Yeah, we could always do it.
Phone's not charged. But yippee. Here's my friend Ernie Hill.
How you doing, Jeffrey? How's Callie doing? That's pretty dope. Ernie Hill.
I'm sure it's nice. It's probably down in the 80s this week. It's cold there,
Yeah, it's windy cold. I was just outside.
We're getting snow. We're getting freezing weather. Sunday morning, we have a low temperature that's going to be, it feels like -10 or some shit like that or whatever. And then on Monday, it's going to be in the 50s.
Really?
So, yeah, it's down here. Try to do a break job on Monday.
How about Buffalo, New York? They moved the football game because there's supposed to be not 3 feet of snow. 3 feet.
Those are the best football games.
I know. They moved it to Buffalo game to Detroit.
Huh. Which could just get just as much snow. You're talking link effect snow on that side.
But they draw a lot of people there. Liz Burr lives in Buffalo. She's a big football.
Major part of the design for Shoe Fest is Liz Burr. She's pretty much in charge of all the colors and all the stuff that goes on around that. I know that Chicago Farmer's getting ready to celebrate 20 years of being Chicago Farmer next year. And 2023 is 20 years since he started playing. 2003 is when he started as Chicago Farmer.
Good for you, Cody.
So good for
Glad to
you,
be your
Cody. It was
friend,
nice to
buddy.
see you at the show last night. Sorry about our drunk friend that sat next to you that
Good to
wasn't
be
our
my-
friend.
good to be a friend of Cody's.
So let's talk about live music when it's really like a seated, nice live music scene, and everybody's singing along, but there's one guy sitting next to you that's singing so loud that the guy in that Todd could hear him. You could probably hear him outside the venue, and he wasn't singing well. He knew most of the words, so he's a fan, but he was singing so loud. And over the course of the night, first I saw Cody and Kimber. They were sitting right next to him, and they moved first. And then after, like, before the end of the show, the whole row in front of him was empty, and the whole row in front of that was half empty.
Well,
he
then,
just-
then it's security or someone who running the thing.
No, how do you say something to somebody who's just overzealous, who's really just excited? And he might have been high or something too. Who
I
knows?
would if he
I
doesn't.
wanted I kept thinking in my head, there's got to be some way to tell this guy to calm down, or to,
I
it's
might
okay.
be-
He doesn't have
I
to be
might-
heard
I would be blunt.
without hurting him.
Well, I'd have to look at him and observe if he's not violent looking, who's gonna just, be something.
I don't think he was violent. I don't think it would have been an issue, but his buddy.
And I
might
would have talked to
You
him
know,
for sure.
I wouldn't want to discourage somebody's enthusiasm.
much.
Somebody who's super enthused. And if you're at a show where everybody's dancing and talking and it's loud, that's different. If
Yeah,
you're at a show where we're sitting down and we're listening to the music and we're singing along and everybody's singing like they're in church, so it all sounds really good.
I know.
Then you get one guy screaming and hollering all night.
Yeah, I know. It's like when I was at the Clash show at the Aragon. I was sitting there trying to listen, and people are just moshing, and I'm saying, like, "Come on, I'm trying to watch the show."
You know the band Minor Threat, right? Super hardcore, Minor Threat, punk rock. He hated moshing. He had a political agenda in his music, and he hated moshing. And when they started moshing, he would stop the show and yell at them.
I actually was in a mosh pit a few times, but
Oh, I spent probably 91 to 94 in a mosh pit. Probably 87 to 94 in a mosh pit. Actually, if I go back.
I'll repeat it. I was at the Clash 2 nights in a row, and it just blew my mind. And there is no mosh pit there. It was just people who know how to, because the music was too good to mosh.
Yeah, like 97 or 98, we went to a Bad Religion show, and there was a mosh pit right next to us. And I thought about it, I looked at it, but no way was I getting in that mess, man.
That's a good one. The
People
punk rock
lost the,
music was too good to mosh.
Too good to mosh.
That's a good one.
Like if you would actually, like, they stop you and make you listen to the music. I mean, Bad Religion had definitely had a theme in their music and a message to say, but I don't know. It started out being moshing. Started out because people were crammed into a small space. So we're at the club's so small, but the band's getting bigger. So everybody starts coming, and everybody goes anyway. And they let anybody come in, it fills the whole space up. So moshing begins as people just kind of shoving off of each other but then kind of dancing together. Like if you went to an early Dead Milkman show or an early Violent Femmes show, it wasn't really a mosh pit as much as it was a crazy dance floor with everybody real close together.
It's a drug.
That turned into people kind of pushing each other a little bit.
It's a drug.
And as soon as they started pushing, and then they started swinging arms,
What?
that's no fun. That's not fun.
No.
You don't want to get hit in the back of the head while you're watching some kick-ass song you love. That's just, I listen, I'm not telling no kid not to have a good time. There again, the same like this kid who was enthused. You can't tell kids not to have a good time. You have to somehow encourage a little kindness, I guess, And I started going to hippie shows, and we don't mosh there. People might spin around in a circle and fall down. Somebody bumps into you because they're wasted. There was never there wasn't a whole lot of
Could be a
pushing.
lot of
shouting at the
hippies
Grateful
dancing
Dead.
tonight.
There should be, yeah, there should be tonight.
Oh, there is. They got a great dance floor right in front. And the stage is right there. That's what's pretty cool about it. So can't believe you haven't been in there, man. Damn it.
I can't go everywhere.
Swinging arms.
I know, either can I. I wish I could.
You have to take it as you go. And I think I like, we were talking, somebody said last night we should do this every week. It was a Cody, I guess it was talking to me about, you guys need to come to Bloomington every week and do music, and I was like, well, we try, but there is a certain point where even that becomes tedious and tiresome, driving to a venue to see a show. I mean, every show, I can't tell you how many hundreds, if not thousands of shows I've sat and watched in my life. I would guess 1,000, over 1,000 shows.
Oh,
I've been
easily.
to and watched the whole set, watched the opening band, been there for set breaks, seen,
Mhm.
that play the hits or play nothing, I
Oh,
mean,
no, no,
I've
no, no,
seen
no, no, no.
it's unreal,
No.
it's unbelievable, really, how many shows I could, if I sat down and thought of every show. There's
Right.
a
I
list
mean,
somewhere that I did a post one time of all the shows I saw up to that point, and it was in the hundreds of bands, and a lot of those bands I've seen multiple times, and I'll still always go,
yeah.
but I have to I don't know, you gotta pick the good ones. And if you're ever at a show that just isn't good, which I have been to good shows that weren't good. I've been to shows where you had to mosh, so it was fun.
Yeah. I've
Bands
had
that were
great
too good to
times.
mosh to, or bands that were so bad that everybody's moshed.
I've had great times from the Clash to Still Shine to Poi Dog Pondering to Greg Allman. Those are some just great times meeting the bands and doing things that were just a good time.
Yeah.
And that's one of very, very few, and I can't keep going, but I'll just bring up those stories.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of bands in concert live. And I love it when you go see a
It's
band
just
you
not
never heard
live.
of.
It's before, after meeting them,
Yeah.
talking.
Whatever their crowd has to offer, whatever they're like.
Hal Russell, Dickie Betts, Muddy Waters, just meeting them and just really not thinking, oh, it was like an album. It's right there actually. Ike Stubblefield, he wrote his phone number on there. It's right there actually. Because I was going through a stack of albums that I've written on, from musicians to notes to there's Ike Stubblefield, who played with Stevie Wonder and Joe Marcinek, and his phone number's on there. So I mean, a lot of historical people. It's not. It's sure it's the stories, and pretty cool.
Album was released today. Was by a band called the Vince Herman Band.
Vince Herman Band.
And they were they're a band from, what the heck is going on? Dang it. Sorry, I gotta try. Dang it. Anyhow. I was gonna show you something, but I can't even figure out how to get to it right now. Oh, what Vince Herman Band's album comes out today, folks. It's Vince Herman, Enjoy the Ride, and Vince Herman has been in Leftover Salmon for over 35 years, approximately 35 years, and we just finished the artwork for his album, and that would include our good friend Scramble Campbell, who was part of the artwork for that one. Let's go and show you the artwork here while we got it, because it's funny. Me and Scramble and another artist all worked on it. But nobody really looks like it's their artwork, except for, I guess, my painting kind of looks like it's Vince in the painting. But so that's coming out today. Basically, just got released today for purchase and sale, and everywhere you can go find music, go get it.
I dig it a lot. I
suggest buying the album if you can buy it, and then go listen to it on Spotify or whatever, just so you can
I'd
support these guys.
I'd like that. That's a great thing. That just brought up great ideas. Actually,
these people were making really good money right before the pandemic, and after the pandemic, they kind of they got to the point where they had to, like, I don't know, some of them had to get jobs and stuff, and a lot of the bands that we look up to, that we think of as untouchable bands that are amazing, they still had to go out and try to figure out what the heck they were going to do. We never knew how long this was going to last. We didn't think it was going to last this long, and we're still partially in it, but we're 134 weeks after we decided to start doing something.
It's still slow.
And it's still slow. The world is still slow. Yeah, I agree. And for bands like that, they got to kind of pick up their stuff again, try to go back out on the road. Not like the Billy Strings and the Sturgill Simpsons and the big names. They've got something built already. But the bands that are still building, and a band that's been playing for 35 years, the Leftover Salmon, they don't really have a radio hit. They don't have a hit that's giving them huge royalty checks necessarily.
Yeah, people are buckling down and picking and choosing wisely, and
Yeah, and some people still aren't going out. I mean, I saw masks last night. Just some people just still aren't
Either
going
having
out.
a
It's just
a
part
good
of the
homestead or going on a good vacation or.
part of this whole crazy experience that we've been part of, from the very beginning of all this stuff.
Yeah, it's a
What
time where for 130 some shows. What? You want to go out? Where's mom?
What's cool is that one of the songs, well, actually, it's not even on that album. It's Vince sang a song for us one night that was the title track to one of their albums, and he kind of premiered it on our show without us really even knowing. That was a pretty special time right there. Trying to find that video. There it is. But anyway, folks, we're like I said, we're kind of doing the show on a whim tonight. We don't know exactly what's going to happen next or how we're going to do it.
You know how many times you said that every show?
So like this thing with Vince that we did, I'm going to share it because it's bad. And it was like the beginning of our, when we first started doing this. And what the hell is this? Hold on. Doing it wrong. We were doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Quality was falling apart. Let's see what
Oh, the feelings. Oh my God. Oh,
musical guest.
wow.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pick one for you on the way out.
We would love to have you play a song for us. You guys, Vince Herman, everybody give it
Love
up.
you, Vince.
And Vince, we love you. Thank you again.
These days, I tend to do a lot of dreaming. I've forgotten all my scheming. Just try to be.
How choppy it is. It's so hilarious.
Now.
It's not even gonna come. The internet's gonna be
These
fully
days,
chopped.
full of ever more distraction, I can find my satisfaction in the faces of these good friends in the cyber screen. These are the brand new good old days that used to was stuck back there in yesterday. It's never more now than it is today. These are the brand new good old days. These days, I hang out in my living room, hope that I'll be leaving soon, but I think it'll be spring before we play.
Oh.
These days, I see things on people's thumbs. It might be a mushroom, but I think that it's Friday and it's a full moon anyway. These are the brand new good old days. They got a good disguise on, that's clear today. But it's never more now than it is today. These are the brand new good old days. These days, we won't be getting any younger. Before time takes us under, I'm gonna live big every minute of every day. These days, I don't think about tomorrow, 'cause that time just can't be borrowed. Tomorrow's just turned to yesterday. These are the brand new good old days. I used to was stuck back there about 2 months ago. Never more now than it is today.
It's Vince
These
live.
are the brand new good old days. We gotta make these days into good days. We got some change that's surely be coming our way. Creating a brand new good old days.
If you want to see the rest of the interview, folks, you got to go back to the show 3 or 4 or 5. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but it's going to go way back in my videos. There's so many videos out there that we made. This is 134 videos. And if you go to my videos and you go to John's videos or whatever, you can go back to the very beginning of the show. See a bunch of other crap in there too. But that's pretty
crazy.
fun too.
Yeah, he was on our show, wasn't he?
That was like, yeah, I'm trying to go back. That was very early. Very early. And even getting back there is going to take a while because it's so many. I've shared a lot of videos since then. Yeah.
Boy, we've aged.
We have aged. Yep. See, that's 2021 Shoe Fest. So we're gonna spend a whole nother year back. Oh my goodness. A lot of good shows where we got to do them together. This is something we could do like a best of show, but there again, that's gonna take a whole nother batch of patience to get to that point.
I don't know if there is a
There's the
best of.
50 shows. That's the 50 show video. Jeez, man. It goes way back. Goes way back. To tell you when Vince was on there, I couldn't even tell you, folks. It's but if you want to go back, like I said, go and check out the videos in my archive. Every video we've ever produced so far is there in perpetuity and probably forever, I guess. I don't know. We've been pretty good about it. We try to talk about good things. We try to keep people entertained. I don't know anything else that's 134 weeks long, man. That's like some kind of crazy diet or something. You're on the 134-week diet?
No.
132 weeks to year. Calculating up to 134 weeks by no. This is like a math problem. How many weeks in 110 days pregnant? No. Convert weeks to months. No, it just did no. What was the date 134 weeks ago? April 22nd, 2020.
I don't know.
Oh man. So we started about April 20th. April 24th, 2020 was the first night of our show.
April 20th?
It was 24th, 2020. So what happened? They shut the country down in like March, and by April we were doing this show.
For sure is April 20th?
It says April 24th.
24th was our first show?
Man, we've had some great guests. Wow.
We'll pick it up.
Remember the Wavy Dave show? I really like that one a lot. If you're familiar with who Wavy Dave is, folks, figure it out, man. He's awesome.
You know,
well, the man in the suit, he's so fresh.
We'll be right back, Phil.
By the bushel, the pound or the piece.
hold on.
And I heard him say at the special that day.
That's enough. We'll come back, Dave. We'll put Dave at the end. I can't put 2 minutes.
When you tell me there's a 2-minute session, I can go take a break for 2 minutes. You can put on a 2-minute or a minute, and you got to give me. All right.
I'm just trying to fill the show, Phil.
You know what's really cool with what I like to do, which I'm doing tonight, is going to see some friends and go and see some great music. I enjoy Mr. Blotto a lot. So, and close to home is another key thing. 10 minutes away. It's a beautiful thing. That's why I asked when you go, how far is Castle? An hour. I don't like driving anymore. So, regardless, of, I like drinking or driving, but anyway, it's too far.
One of the topics for ABC game that we came up last week was vampires.
When the hell do we know that many vampires?
Do we know 26 different vampires?
I'm too old for that. I'd go Dracula 2.
I like monsters. Monsters is a good idea. But it's not really a Thanksgiving theme. What's a Thanksgiving theme? Like foods you don't eat on Thanksgiving.
We should just skip. No. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, folks. We need more content. We need people to come hang out with us and be on our show. We've got a friend who plays music or something like that. You send him our way. I know, Jeffrey, you're always out there pushing for us, bud. And you brought me a lot of people to the name.
ABCs.
Bumped into my good friend of a friend of Tater Staley's last night and got the Tater Staley update. He's doing pretty good. I don't know if you've seen that video that got shared. That's a guy in a Knight's helmet, and they're doing an AC/DC song, Hell's Bells. And every time the bell rings, they hit him in the head with a frying pan. It's really good, actually, and it's timed out really nice. I don't think I can show it on the show. I don't have rights to that one, but the AC/DC has a way of popping back up into culture, into important music history or news or whatever. It's always AC/DC is the one that always comes back for some reason.
I got to see AC/DC 5 times in their raw days, but none of them were with Bon Scott. But I got to see them in that 1.5 year run when they were hot as shit, and they were electric. And it was, Marshall amps, 4 dudes, and like, what the fuck is going on here?
AC/DC. Oh no, it's that. Never mind. Got him wrong. Is it this? Or is it this?
Yeah, they were a memorable old band. Okay, how IBCs, we're gonna go with old memorable bands that just, I don't care what other people think. This is what our age, this is what I like. That's all.
All right. So you start, I guess.
A would be AC/DC then. We'll go AC/DC.
AC/DC.
I'm sure I can think about it. We'll go with AC/DC.
For B, I'm gonna say Bad Brains.
Okay.
So they were a part of that punk documentary last night, and actually watched a whole part of a. Actually, I watched a. This is off subject all of a sudden, but for C, I would say CBGB's. But I watched a video last night that was Ramones at CBGB's entire show. It was how it was regarded, right? So the whole Ramones show, the video is 17 minutes long. 17 minutes. Imagine hauling all your shit in there, setting it all up, sound checking, and then playing for like a third of the time it took to do all that stuff and being done. And everybody's happy. It was the Ramones. Everybody beat the Chris. Anyway, so C for bands you think are memorable. Go ahead.
Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
Got to see him quite a few times. Got to see him on a New Year's Eve show. New Year's Eve where they locked the doors afterwards and private party, and it was at the Double Door. Beautiful thing. Beautiful
Double
thing.
Door. Speaking of Double Door, for D, I'm going to say Dick Dale. Dick Dale, very important early surf rock before everybody else. Dick Dale was pretty important surf pioneer, I'll call him. And notice it's a onomatopoeia. No, not onomatopoeia. Anyway, it's alliteration. Dick Dale. So you got E.
E is for Effigies. Effigies is an early punk band that I got to again at the Double Door in the Metro, and they were early influence of the underground music. Effigies.
Effigies.
Effigies. I do believe Effigies. They were Husker Du-ish. Effigies. They played at Effigies. I do believe they might be a California band. Effigies.
Effigies. F is for Freddie Fender.
Okay.
I'm just doing bands alliterated. So you get G.
G is going to be for
It's memorable bands. If there's nothing in your memory, you got nothing.
it happens. It's the brain lock. The lights are flashing and that guy's going something or over there. G is going to be for Great American Taxi, because I got an album right there. I just painted. Great American Taxi. It was a great show. I didn't realize they could be that good. And every time I've seen them, they're that good. So Great American Taxi.
For H, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say Hair Helmet. Hair Helmet, which was a reference to Devo, because they wore those hair helmets.
Yep. The little cones.
I think that's memorable. Well, they had like the one that did the plastic hair in a couple of those videos.
Yeah,
Like
red.
plastic hair that went over their hair. Devo and what I call it, what I say? Plastic hair. No, that's not what I say.
Holy.
Hair helmet. Hair helmets of Devo. That's memorable for me. It was like Jocko Homo. It wasn't even Whip It. I don't think it was Whip It when they do the Whip It, they had the red hats on, the siren hats. So that was E or F. Then you got G, H, you got I.
Iron Butterfly. I love the word. Seen the band. Just they were an era. I mean, you've heard of the band Iron Butterfly, correct?
Inagata what?
Okay. I can ask someone who doesn't just name Iron Butterfly. They know that word. It's just something that's stuck in history of a word.
Inagata Davida?
Well, the name Iron Butterfly, then they go iron, you know what I'm saying? That word right there is historical. Iron Butterfly.
They invented the word Inagata Davida.
It's like Black Sabbath, Iron Butterfly. you might not know music. You could ask a librarian who has no clue what's going on, Black Sabbath or Iron, they've heard. You can
So
go to India or some other country and they're gonna know. Oh,
Iron Butterfly, Inagata Vida. It's like the most. It's one of the more historical rock songs in history that'll stick around. Inagata Vida. You know what it means, right? What does Inagata Vida mean?
no, I do not.
It means in the Garden of Eden. And that's how he said it, was Inagata Vida. And that so it became the title of the song. So it's actually in the Garden of Eden.
I knew that.
Okay, right? And it's like, it's My Sweet Satan, all that stuff. But in the Garden of Eden, but Inagata Vida is how it came out, jumbled in his jaw, kind of Louis style, But for some reason,
He was sloth.
became the title of the song, and that became the history of rock and roll. Inagata Vida. I love it. Jay, I'm gonna say Janis Joplin, probably the best voice of all time, other than maybe Etta James and a couple other singers, but Janis Joplin, there aren't too many that could do it. Somebody said Susan Tedeschi last week. Somebody else said even Tina Turner, not quite Janis. And Tina was amazing. Like I watched some live Tina footage recently about her, and she was amazing. She was also in 1971, a big part of that year. Rolling on the river. But so I'm gonna say Janis Joplin. You got K.
Okay. Kinks. I heard the Kinks. I love the Kinks, but the Kiss. Seen both bands. I saw Ray Davies, but I saw Kiss twice. Kiss. Didn't realize how good they were when I saw them. They backed up the Rolling Stones when I saw them, and they were better than the Stones, but they were historical in many, many ways. So they're one band that everybody's gonna know for the rest of their lives. Kiss, and they did what they did. They were pretty damn good.
Art. That was art for sure. I have to give that one. That was definitely art.
But when I saw them up on stage, I don't know how much more they could dub. It was pretty weird. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like it was like a bad production, like
So like a good production, we're like, these guys are really rock. I'm trying to find I always try to find the falses of big bands if I can. I don't go do that anymore.
you want to hear him make a mistake in the song a little bit, kind of.
That'd kill
to know
me.
that it's live, right? To know that it's real.
It's like I would never go to a U2 show at a big event show. And I'm like, I know, yeah, no, there's no way.
Well, so for L, I'm going to say Larry Lalonde. Now, Larry Lalonde was the original guitar player for Primus. And how'd you like to be in Primus? And everybody's looking at Les Claypool, and you're Larry Lalonde over there playing your crazy guitar lines, and nobody really hears it or sees it because you're not Les Claypool. So Larry Lalonde is my L. I'm playing a little different game than you are, but
okay. M is for Monty Python's Flying Circus. That was a great musical collage of music diversity. Their band with the horns and their humor. They were a band, actually. Don Cleese and
Eric Idle had so much music. If you go, and there's a ton, you can go to Spotify or wherever and type in Monty Python, and there's a ton of cool songs that they wrote.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Imagine that you're sitting on a planet that's evolving and
they had great voices, man.
An hour.
Yep.
They did have good voices.
Yep.
There's good documentaries about those guys too, Eric Idle.
Oh yeah. I mean, I watch it. It's, you got to get used to the English language once you listen or get to know. It just fly. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult at the beginning, but
in 1991, I saw Nine Inch Nails. And they opened up for Jane's Addiction, and they were at Lollapalooza, the first Lollapalooza. And that was memorable. That was a good show. They only had like keyboards on stage, maybe a guitar, drum set. It wasn't like the normal band we were used to seeing, because it was that industrial sound that's brand new, like electric music, basically. Precursor to all the rave stuff, precursor to all the dance rock, precursor to everything electric but Kraftwerk, pretty much. And so Nine Inch Nails is my N from 1991. A lot of N's in that one. 1991, Nine Inch Nails. That's a lot of N's.
Oh, I get a no. That's a good one. We're gonna go with Oingo Boingo because yeah, I mean that's we're gonna skip that. We're just gonna Oingo Boingo and go. Phew.
We skipped M and N O. No, we're on P now. Okay, so P, I'm gonna say Paul Priest.
Paul Priest.
Paul
Oh
Priest.
man.
Shoot fame, our good buddy Paul Priest. Paul, if you're out there,
How do you bring
name,
that
man.
up? That's pretty cool.
All Paul Priest's albums that he put out as Paul Priest are really good albums.
Very good album. I mean, very,
I bet
very.
Paul would come on the show. I mean, we wouldn't dish on old shoe.
Yeah, no,
I
hell
bet Paul would
no.
come on the show sometime. That'd be kind of cool. Paul Priest. If you're not sure who Paul Priest is, folks, check him out, man.
I just got the handprint. Someone's. Did I say something wrong? Okay.
Me? No.
No, I get
Okay.
something when Facebook comes up with a handprint. I must have said something.
Are you looking at the comments?
No,
It doesn't come up with a handprint to stop you from saying something. What kind of planet are you on, dude?
Planet Claire.
Yeah, it came from Planet Claire.
No,
Yeah, I need one here.
yes, thank you.
Okay, what letter are we on?
PQQ. Real easy.
We're gonna go with Queen. Queen was the first rock album that I got in 8th grade, I do believe, 7th grade, eighth, from my dad. First rock album, White Album. And that changed. I was a music, my dad was into music, so Queen by far, and they're still an underrated band if you really listen to them. What they did, Brian May and the Cats, man, Freddie Mercury, obviously.
So you have like the option of let me see here. We go. This is inspired by the White Album, but now I'm gonna do art on it. Q for R, I'm gonna say Richard Roundtree and Shaft.
What the hell is Richard Roundtree have to do with it?
No, for R, I'll say Rico Suave. No, that's Gerardo.
You can't think and draw at the same time, can you?
For R, I'm gonna say no, I'm not having as good luck. Paul Revere and the Raiders. There we go. Paul, I'll do that one. Paul
Where is
Revere
it?
and the Raiders.
Richard Roundtree.
Yeah, he was Shaft. Wasn't he?
Yeah, I know he was. Or what are you doing? You playing
And now I just figured out how to do this. It's fun. Anyway, okay. I would want to say it was inspired by the White Album tonight. That was a Ringo Starr moment. Richard Roundtree and Ringo Starr putting an album out together. It's called the Ringo Roundtree.
now what planet are you on?
I just landed somewhere. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm checking in my backgrounds. But no, the planet I'm on is after R, we got Q, R, S, S. It's for you.
S
Bill
is
Sean.
for
So funny that we do this show and like it's not planned. It's never really that entertaining for the most part. Like there's big chunks of it they fall apart. But we're 134 times
Okay.
doing it. To start out, we're just gonna call Phil every Friday and be like, we're gonna hang out and we're gonna talk on the internet and paint or whatever, you know.
but it always happens. Super Tramp.
Super Tramp. All right. For T, I'm gonna say Tommy Two Tone.
867-53309.
She didn't give her, you know what though? She didn't give her area code though, so the phone number never works. For a good time.
For a good time call.
All right, that's as far as you get from us. If that
You is for Utopia, an old band. What we do at the house, we put on the big TV and hit YouTube and hit old videos of bands, of their footage. It is hysterically funny and awesome. how he screamed. And Uriah Heep to Robin Trower. So Uriah Heep, it's a beautiful thing to listen to real raw music with bell-bottom jeans, and they got to plug in their amp, and sort of like a blotto thing tonight where they're playing a Marshall amp and they're just playing raw. There is no, this is pretty dope. So anyway,
I'm gonna say for V, I'm gonna say the Velvet Underground, because there's two V's in Velvet. I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Velvet Underground. We're doing bands that both have two letters, right? At least of the same letter.
oh, we got to start over now.
They did have the X-ray spec. Oh, sorry, that might be what you're gonna pick.
X-ray spec. Yeah, I don't think
They
I
had
see.
they had them on the there's only 11 bands that start with an X.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
X-ray
As far
spec.
as like
XTC.
what the internet knows, yeah, of course.
XTC.
X Carnation, Xavier Rudd, X-ray specs, the X Ambassadors, the XX, which I want to
XX. Yeah.
I'll choose the XX for mine. I never heard of them, so I'm gonna say Zymox. Although I've never heard of them either. So XX Temptation, X Temptation. Yeah, I don't even know how you're supposed to say that one. You think more people would have tried to be different, but no, not everybody's kind of the same. Anyway. So X, we're gonna go ahead and jump right to Y. See where we're at Y. We're kind of skipping ahead now. You see how that's working? We're gonna go a little quicker at the end to make these things. So you can have Y. I'll take Z.
All right. One of the best concerts I've seen them 5 times, 2 nights, twice in a row. Back in the round in Milwaukee and in Chicago, my cousin Raymond, we used to switch up. Yes, by far. I saw him with Chris Squire, John Anderson, and the boys. I dig that kind of music.
Was there crowd surfing at the Yes show?
Hell no.
Talk about mosh
People
pits.
sat in their chairs. You didn't really. You stood maybe, but you sat and you were. No, we sat.
Go see him, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin 2 nights, and then Chicago. Here was the thing: my cousin, me, and once a year we'd hook up and go see. So
Theater, stadium.
Anyway, yeah, yes, in early 80s, you could look it up. Yeah. So yes, he's one of my favorite by far.
For Z, I'm going to say, of course, Dweezil Zappa. A lot of Z's and Dweezil Zappa. I was trying to get as many letters as I could of the letter of the band. I think I did best on Nine Inch Nails from 1991. But at this point, we just did the alphabet. We should sit back and have a cold one.
All right.
Been doing some little tiny drawings this week. Show some new recent artwork.
I want one.
See, this is actual size. This is way
No,
larger.
I want
than
it bigger. I want it bigger. I want a black and white painting. I'll trade you.
And then I got
give
this. Here's a
you-
chicken. Always a chicken. No, always gonna be more chickens. So I'm doing this series. I've got like 19 or 18 of these cards. I'm gonna do as many of as I can do. I tried to draw this without looking at a picture of the mushroom first, which turned it into a black morel. So I don't know if those will kill you or not, but probably will.
Gotta make them bigger.
And well, I will, but this is Christmas time. I do these small cards every year. This is 22 series, so there's
That's
another
pretty
morel.
dope.
Actually, looks like a morel.
That's really, really good. How the adept holes.
And then the other one I put it in growing by the creek, but they grow by the trees. So I
Not just pops, even from in this bad dimension of technology.
Of course, a little amanita. I always do those. And imagine that it's red without putting the red on there.
What number pencils do you use?
It's a white pencil. It's like it's called it's a Prismacolor. And that does actually have a number on it. PC 938. Prismacolor white, thick lead.
Okay.
And you just get black paper. You can get the black paper at the same place you get the pencils, art stores, everywhere.
What?
This is a nice little flower, I mean. So if you keep your eyes peeled the next couple weeks or so, probably next week or so, I'll put these up, maybe probably Small Business Saturday or something. We'll try to sell all these off, and for like $25, you get you an original John Griffin piece of artwork, and I mail it to your house with some stickers. But you can rewind that in reruns and see the rest of them better if you want to later. But I'm not finished yet, so I can't really show them that much more detail because I still have.
I gotta
that
take.
more.
You want to, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. You want to, this one's sitting right below me and blowing gas. That means he's got to go outside. I'm in the basement.
All right, buddy. See you in a minute. We're gonna
Yeah.
put up another little video of our friend,
Yeah, put up a video.
Wavy Dave, if I can find it. I know it's under here somewhere. There it is. All right, I found it. And I'll draw on Wavy Dave while
I'll be
we're,
back. He's got to go
while we're
outside.
watching Wavy Dave. Folks, so Wavy Dave, if you're not familiar, is in the band Terrapin Flyer. If you're in Salt Lake City tonight, they're playing in Salt Lake City. We're gonna have some fun here with Wavy Dave while he sings a song for us.
Well, the man in the suit, he sold fresh fruit by the bushel, the pound, or the piece. And I heard him say that the special that day was a ruby red grapefruit from Greece. Well, I heard him repeat, it was tasty and sweet. 'Twas then he started to boast. Well, I tasted that grapefruit, but it was still sour. I guess ruby reds ain't much sweeter than most. And it's like Mama said, my son, use your head. Don't believe everything that you hear. Keep a skeptical mind, and I think you will find that people aren't always sincere.
It's a good song.
Well, the girl in the skirt, she sure likes to flirt with every man in the room. And when it comes to my turn, my heart still does burn. Sometimes you may see me swoon. Well, she calls me up drunk, and she tells me she loves me, but I think she's just having fun. 'Cause when she gets sober, the romance is over. She can't remember one thing that she's done. And it's like Mama said, my son, use your head. Don't believe everything that you hear. Keep a skeptical mind, and someday you will find that people aren't always sincere. Well, the president lied on his bed, and he cried, man, what I got, it just ain't enough. I want absolute power. Third worlds I'll devour. And if people don't like it, well, that's tough. Now my nation loves me. Ask my friends, they'll agree. I'm honest and trustworthy too. So have faith in your leader and know he won't mislead you. After all, he only wants what's best for me and you. And it's like Mama said, my son, use your head. Don't believe everything that you hear. Keep a skeptical mind, and someday you will find that people aren't always sincere. Have a skeptical mind, and I think you will find that people aren't always sincere.
That was a good buddy, Wavy Dave, folks. We've been lucky to have so many guests on our show. They're absolutely ridiculous.
It is windy out there like a son of a gun. And every time I go to the roundhouse, well, it's wintertime. Wow. Thank God for the valet.
Yeah, you got it. You have valet parking tonight. How fancy going to see Blotto with the valet parking.
Well, you get pulled right up in front. Oh, here's one of our songs, John.
So thanks for checking in with us tonight. That was our good friend Wavy Dave on the we'll call it rerun show because we got to go back to this some music we've had on our show. I tell you, there's been a lot of stuff. Hey, Dolly, Christina, Dolly Bates, good to see you out there. Tell Jeremy we said hello and the
Hey,
kids.
Dolly.
Yeah, and we're just we're kind of doing our show tonight on the fly because we're both pretty fly guys. And
Pretty fly guys.
but now, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring it over to our man in the streets, Phil Strodes of sports. See if he got a minute of sports in him. I'm gonna time him. And go, Phil.
All right, we're gonna go with something. Yeah, I did a couple Bears things for tonight. How about Justin Fields for the Chicago Bears? What a quarterback he is. I mean, he used to talk sports. Bears finally got a quarterback. Justin Fields is on fire. And there's no hockey news. Blackhawks ain't doing nothing. Sports is baseball's over. College football looks like it's going to be Georgia. I do believe is going to win it all. I don't know. Sports. Oh, the World Cup is coming up. Who do you got? I have Argentina. I think Argentina.
I got the Cardinals, man.
Cardinal. Yeah, they're the state bird. Yes, we know that. Winter sports. Who? Sports. Who's skiers out there?
Yeah, good time for skiing. That's for
Been
sure.
a long time. I put my brace on, but I enjoyed skiing. It's about that time. God, it's November, and it feels like, for those snow skiers out there, everybody's got to love that. Snowmobilers and everybody going up north or Colorado, whatever. Anybody watching?
Go to Wisconsin. You got like an hour and a half drive to Baraboo. You could be
Ice
skiing.
fishing, and not a big fan, but sports wise,
Ice is not that thick.
go sports, everybody.
Think they're already blowing snow on the hills up in Wisconsin.
Oh, heck yeah.
I wonder how early they start blowing that snow on that.
Well, I don't say heck yeah, but I'm sure.
But heck yeah.
Yeah, up where we went by Eau Claire and all that stuff up there. Probably, I mean, it is brutal outside.
Sprocket jam.
In the sports segment, what else do we have in sports?
Is there any
Sport-
bowling sports this week? Bowling news this weekend? Is there anybody hit a fat 300 in the bowling alleys? They don't really talk about bowling on sports very often.
No, and I missed that too. I used to be in a league for 13 years. Back in the day, it was a beautiful thing.
Like late night ESPN used to be bowling and pool.
Yeah, I miss both those. We got a pool table right there, and I never play unless we have company. So
You know what? We didn't play it last week when I was there.
no,
When I was there a few weeks ago, and we were supposed to play horse. And I don't know what happened. It was sitting on the porch that next morning while we didn't play horse. We was hung out for a
everything
while.
time flies. Time flies.
Having fun, spend time with our friends, our friends in the band. I want to show this other picture here I found just now. It's a picture I got off the internet. It's well, if you look at it closely, there's this old broken down car in the background. I like that.
That's Sam Bush.
That's Sam Bush or Patrick Metzger, whichever comes first. This guy looks like it's John Hartford, but also kind of looks like a bad guy from Scooby-Doo today with his black cape on him. That's the black cape. Oh, there's a story behind the black cape. Anyway, this guy back in the background over here, he's from some other 70s band. He's just kind of sitting in. And if you look real close, though, Sam has an arm coming out of his back or a leg coming out of his back here with a half a pair of blue jeans on it. And we're trying to figure out who that is in the picture, folks. If you were there that day, you took the picture, let me know. I'm not sure who that is in the picture. You can't see any of them except that leg. And they have an instrument too. You can't see that either, though. You can't tell what instrument they have. I bet you they have a guitar, maybe, but where is the guitar? I mean, it's all hiding behind Sam Bush. Sam Bush is a huge character. So that was just a funny image that I found this week that I liked. It was on my desktop. I'm bored now. But anybody has a joke, wants to play a song, we're going to have to get Marshall Ingrassi on the show one of these times. He's a bass player from Alton area. He's watching the show.
Dolly, if you're watching, I got some cool old artwork that I was looking at from Nippersink. That was a good time.
One of the coolest bass players you'll ever see play is this cat Marshall. He played in the Stone Sugar Shakedown for a while. He played in a couple of the little groups too. But he did this Grateful Dead set. I mean, he was having such a good time. I can still see the happiness in this player. When a musician is playing what they do, and then and you get to see them just in their total happiness. It's important, so. Oh, Marshall, we'll get you on the show pretty soon. We'll get you come up one of these weeks. You're watching the show right now. I won't put it on you on the spot right now, but they could be watching their boxer shorts. They could be doing crazy body painting or something weird in their house while they're watching our show. We don't have any control over what they're doing while they watch the show. But yeah, Marshall for sure would bring on the show. That'd be really cool. He's a kick-ass bass player. I'm sure he has a lot of other music in that I don't even know about. He puts on a show every year called the Jammin' at the Springs. What's called Jammin' at the Springs this year. It's in January, and it's at the Mineral Springs Mall, which is in Alton, Illinois. Great place, haunted as any Scooby-Doo mansion ever was. We didn't go into places we weren't supposed to, but it was freaking scary. And if he comes on the show, we'll have to talk about that, because it was like both me and him were pretty brave. And then we got to one point in the tour. Well, it wasn't even a tour. It was like snooping, I guess you might call it. I don't think anybody's watching, Marsh. We can tell a story now. But we got to this one room where both of us wanted to turn around and go back without asking each other. We both knew by looking at each other that was it. That was the last room we would go into. So that's in January. That's coming up before we know it. Jamming at the Springs. I'm gonna try and do that. It's a small vending gig. A lot of bands, a lot of music in the 2 days that happens. I did artwork for that one too. Shit, I mean, we could just show everything. What are we doing here today? We're just hanging out, you know. It's under Marshall and Gracia Presents, my folder. I keep everything pretty well organized. And this is actually it's a pretty cool list of musicians that you can get to see at this event. For me, it's really significant because you've got you got Cluster Pluck and One Way Traffic, which we only know of either of those bands because of each other. You know, because Leah was playing with Cluster Pluck when I met her. And so January 27, 28, Mineral Springs Banquet Center, Broadway on Alton, Illinois, right up the road from Fast Eddie's Burger Joint, this real famous place over there in Alton, and around the corner from a casino and at the convergence of the rivers. I mean, Alton is a great place. You have to go there someday. So we'll put that on the show so everybody can see that. Distant Eyes, Biff Gnarly and the Reptilians, Hope and Therapy, Alligator Wine, Colt Ball, Joshua Grass. You got a lot of good games on there, or a lot of good bands on there this week. Cornfish is there with my good buddy Sam. That's really cool. Cooliverse Art Installation, which sounds awesome. I mean, it's just going to be cool. I've done it a few years in a row. I think I missed a year, but I try to go up there as much as I can. It's a great location. It's a great weekend. Cool. A lot of good music. That was a show where I was at, and I did a drawing for like 35 bands or something crazy that weekend. And I did a drawing for every band that played. Like while they were playing, I did a real quick live black and white drawing of every band. So you want some black and white artwork, huh? Is that where I should head off next in the black and artwork?
Big time.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to. I'm gonna pin that comment real quick, Marshall, so people can find out how to get to the Marshall Ingracia Presents Jamming at the Springs show coming up in January. We got to look for stuff, and you have to find a place to stay in Alton. There's hotels, things like that, friends. It's not a stay overnight kind of place. We go there for the day, we party, and then we leave and come back the next day and party again. But there's no staying there. I don't think we could stay there. It'd be kind of creepy to stay there, Marshall. Maybe we could do a camp out this year, and we'll stay with the equipment and see how it gets weird at night, like woo. Well, the place used to be like this big mineral bath pool spa area where people would go and have their deities and their ailments cleansed in this crazy mineral water. And so we talked about how that must just be like an apex for all this weird shit that came, you know. I did get this last night. It's Todd Snyder, Return of the Rolling Papers.
I need some rolling papers.
And they're real papers, although we didn't put any art on the inside this time, but then it says Peace, Love, and Anarchy on the back. And of course, this is my painting. So you see the blue in all the Todd Snyder stuff right now, there's this blue background, this watercolor blue background. And where that comes from is this painting.
Yeah, we had one of those.
Like a little square of it, like right here, I cut out and used that for the background of all his album. For inside of his album, and he used one on his rolling papers too, which is kind of cool. So I got my artwork on rolling papers again. It's not the first time, it's like the third time. Man, I can smell Amy's soup. It smells so good. She made minestrone tonight, folks. One of the best meals that you can have. Delicious this time of year. It's cold out. Get a nice hot soup, and it's got red beans, like kidney beans. It's got pastas. It's got green beans. It's got barley. It's got potatoes. It's got carrots. It is so good. If you need to just skip the Blotto show, get in your car, drive down here and have some soup. Or after the Blotto show, just drive to my house afterwards. It's like 3.5 hours. And you can stay here, and I'll have cold gazpacho in the morning.
See, the dog wants some soup too. No. Phillips is going to end the show shortly and nibble on something and get ready for the show. And
What show?
we're going to go see Mr. Blotto. And
Where are they playing at?
Laura keeps going.
Mr. Blotto. I've never heard of Mr.
Brothers
Blotto.
Roundhouse in Aurora tonight. 9 o'clock show. I'll be up there.
Well, I think we'll go out tonight with some Paul Bulger then. I'm going to give him kudos for maybe having the best sound ever on our show. Now I'll take that back whenever I play it for you in a minute. It sounds like shit. But so thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. Phil, anything you want to say to the folks before we let them go and go on live for now? We'll talk a few more minutes before you take off. But
Great
talk
to see
I
everybody.
have to talk to you about your evaluation.
Everybody have a good Friday night. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm saying.
Whoever's watching the show, I miss you. And good night. Go, Paul.
Peace
A song from the
out,
20s.
people!
That was popular during the Depression. Brother, can you spare a dime? When everyone was broke and out of work and stuff like that. And I think it applies so much to right now that, and it's a beautiful song. So here we go. If I can remember it. Once I built a railroad, made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done.
Folks, we appreciate you tuning in tonight to the Phil and Jon Zone week 134. Keep tuning in. We'll be at 150 before you know it. I mean, it's just going to happen. There's no way we can't. There's no way we can stop this at this point. It's going to
What do you
happen.
mean? We're in a freight train on a roll. Never gonna get stopped now.
Maybe, yeah, there's a good chance of it. So I'm just going to talk right over Paul because I said he had the best sound. He did up to then. But I think we had other sound that was different. It was better. So Paul Bulger, we'll see you tonight, bud. Enjoy the show, and we will talk to you.
You'll see him in a few
Love you,
hours.
John. Love Phil and Jon Zone, and signing off.
See him in a few minutes.
It's the Phil and Jon Zone.
Bill says
We can do whatever we want.
even have a mute button. Watch this.
I'm out here. I'm going to the other side of the Phil and Jon Zone. Thanks for coming on the show. Much love. Peace.
Big thanks all over the place.
I'm just giving you some outro music.
Yeah, when's Bobby coming?
Phil and Jon Show, send me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. With commentary that's rich and deep now. And none of the topics that will creep you out. Sound of Phil and Jon Show, you ought to know what all the artists have to go.
I love your reaction during that. It's like, oh, it's such a good night.
Your magic beam. Phil and Jon Show, send me. Jon Show, send me. Phil and Jon Show, send me a dream. Phil and Jon Show, brought to you by Phil and Jon.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.